I certainly think he's immediately fascinated by her because she's just such a personality. In the margins, you sort of see a kindred spirit. They have a shared passion, a shared wisdom, a shared connection. Can't speak highly enough about Merritt. I think she's fantastic. I think she does such excellent work. They were, in their own way, finding a way to be brave and finding a way to be more than they usually are.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Heart in Motion podcast. I'm thrilled to welcome to the podcast Liam McIntyre. How you doing, Liam?
I'm doing great. G'day. How are you?
Good day. That's what we say in Missouri too.
Is it really? No, come on, stop.
How y'all doing?
Oh, I like a bit of that. Yes, I was just saying I gotta get some of these accents down. So let me know. Okay. Let me know what I can learn.
We'll give you one more to work on then, right?
Appreciate it.
Well, I'm so excited to talk to you about Meet Me in the Margins, which actually kicked off today on Great American PureFlix. You can stream it now, those of you that are watching or listening. So that's exciting. And then, of course, people that have Great American Family can watch it on Saturday night, 8/7 Central, and check it out there. But loved the movie and so excited to talk with you about it.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yes, that was a lot of fun to do. Yes, I'm looking forward to talking about it too.
So I'm used to seeing you in the rom-com world. I don't know if you could guess this about me or not, but I'm not someone who typically hangs out in the gaming world, that type of area.
I respect
But you've got, an extensive background in that. So when we're talking about voiceover work and the gaming world, how did you get into that, and what do you really enjoy about it?
It's I'm a lucky actor in that, man. In many ways, I've been able to sort of sample so many different types of performing, and it's been really fulfilling for me. So no, games, I mean, like, I've liked video games since I was a kid, so it was this kind of wonderful synergy where opportunities came up and I was like, oh my god, I understand this language, this is great, I can speak game language, so this makes sense to me. So it was I've done a couple of things on different systems and across different characters, and they've been really fun to play. The one I'm doing now is a really cool character, a very big one, sort of one of the coolest things I've done in a while, and it's my likeness, so it's me. So it's a whole different skill set, but it's kind of like a mixture of, I guess, theater and film in a way that's really fun. So it's been fun.
So when you talk about the one that you're doing right now, are you talking about the Wolverine part of it? Okay.
yeah. Wolverine. It's still one of those pinch me. It seems surreal for the 13-year-old boy in me that used to watch that first Saturday afternoon cartoons or whatever it would be. It's very surreal, but look, how much fun to be able to do everything from like rom-coms to crazy Marvel guys.
Absolutely. And it is so interesting to me, with the various people that I've interviewed. There are many people who like to dabble in a little bit of all of it. I mean, probably just to keep it real and to do something new and exciting. So it's not shocking that you kind of do a little bit of all that.
It's just fun. I mean, like, I never expected to get anywhere near as far as I have as an actor and able to like do all of these wonderful things. So the opportunity to try all these different flavors of characters, to be all these different people and try all these different sides of myself it's every actor's dream, so I should be so lucky.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've done the action epics, you've done the superhero thing, you've done the romantic comedy. So has your definition of a great role changed over the years?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I mean, I think a good role is something that can move you, is built around a good script, a good set of circumstances, where a character, changes, grows. Like, I want nothing more than people to be able to enjoy the work that me and my colleagues do, and feel in some way moved by it. I guess that's the joy of what we do. That's the hopefully that's what we can offer to the world in some little tiny way, is that. So a good role has those things in it. It surprises you. It creates a character that you may not expect, or even if you do, it still brings you a sense of transformation or something inside you. It resonates with something that as you watch it. That's what I look for when I'm watching any kind of entertainment. So I hope that's what I try to bring for people. Yeah.
So you play William Pendleton in Meet Me in the Margins. You get the script. What is something that really stands out to you when you get the script that you're really excited about?
It's fun. Like, it's a really I mean, I liked the tone of it. You know, there's lots of different romantic comedies out there, and this had like a, you know, I liked that it had a little bit of a caper of a, you know, like a who is it kind of. I liked the way that they presented that. I liked the secret, like, you know, the secret room that they share, and all these little tidbits of I don't know, a slightly more unexpected rom com for me, at least. You know, I liked these little tiny flavors that they had in there, and his. I liked both the characters and how they were in their own way finding a way to be brave and finding a way to be more than they usually are, and in finding each other they find the ability to get past the blocks that they both have in their own lives for sort of a better life together. Look, it's there's so many elements in there, but it was just it had real personality coming off the page, which I really liked.
Yeah, I loved seeing I joked when I talked with Marisa
Mm,
yesterday and talked with Riley
I
Weston,
love her.
who
She's so
wrote the
great. Yeah,
screenplay,
yeah,
and
yeah,
we
yeah,
talked quite a bit about I kind of said, well, it's the secret garden indoors. And
yeah, yeah. I see
And
that.
that side of Savannah, who Merritt Patterson plays, that
So
side of
great.
her story, was really nice to watch. But then you've got, like you said, there's this wondering of like, who is it that she is
Yeah,
connecting with in the room? But at the same time, there's this connection that is happening with William at the same time. So, that they're at odds with each other, but really they're not. That storyline was really fun for me to watch.
yeah. I love the, especially where it sort of culminates in as the you know all the mysteries are revealed and stuff like that. That's a really fun scene. This the idea that, you know, she's been falling for this guy but conflicted because she's kind of, you know, fascinated by this person that she doesn't know or thinks she doesn't, and you know the sort of vague comedy of that. I like the way that sort of resolves itself in such a cute way.
So going back to when William and Savannah first meet, it's a really fun moment
It's
to
a cute,
have
cute,
them
me cute,
connect.
yeah.
How would you describe their first moment meeting in the publisher's house?
it's it is funny. I mean, like, it's, you wouldn't think it was so hard to throw a manuscript in the air. You know, it's sort of like in your mind, you're like, oh, this will be great. It'll be like all the papers flying everywhere. Instead, it's like thunk, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. You know, but no, Merritt did a really good job of kind of like fanning it all out at the right time. It was more technical than you'd think,
Yeah.
but no, it's again, like, that's what I love about the story. There's so many of these kind of fun flavors coming in, like these you know these highlights of these special moments, and it's great. Merritt's so wonderful. She's so expressive. She's so sharp with all of her performances and everything that she does. She's so well read and all that sort of stuff. So it makes it very easy to act opposite, and try to, you know, and creating that dynamic without it feeling too stretched, you know, so that
Yeah.
you're not like some like old curmudgeonly kind of like publishing house, you know, and yeah, it's fun. It's a fun little, because it sets up so much of the show, you know. So
So
you try to get it right.
when they meet, and that's her first meeting with William, how would you describe William in that moment? Because she's a little bit like, unsure, boss's son here, and who is this guy? How would you describe him?
He is. Well, I certainly think he's immediately fascinated by her because she's just such a personality, you know, and she's so interesting. And of course, I think he's had a very interesting upbringing. You know, I think he's had a very strong mother, you know, someone who's like a real role model, but also absolutely dominant in the things that she does. And so he's trying to, you know, become his own person and certainly make his own way, even at this point in his life, you know. And so she brings him back to sort of revitalize the company. And that's, you know, he's very aware that she's right there, you know, that she's right on his shoulder. But he's also very good at what he does, and I think that's important in the story and for himself and his journey, and I think that comes across. I mean, he's not 21, you know, so he's seen the world, he knows himself, and so I think there's a certain, he can relate to Savannah in her like flustered sort ofness, you know, and I think he's felt that way before, and so I think he's immediately kind of drawn to her and feels like connected to her in a way, and so finds it slightly amusing, but not in a like a mocking or derisive way, but just in like a, oh, I know exactly how that feels, you know, and I like the idea of him being quite uptight in himself through his upbringing and through who he is. He's very by the book and very sort of straight laced. But there is a fun to him, and there is a big sort of romantic side to him that maybe he doesn't always feel, especially with his mum around, feels like he's got to keep that under wraps. But she immediately starts to draw that out of him, and I think
Yeah.
that surprises him and scares him a little bit in his own way. It's not what he was expecting to come back to the company with. It's fun, so
Well,
it's
and
fun to play with.
I think as an audience, we immediately have a perception of him just because of the way he's first presented. But his
Yes,
reaction to her in that moment quickly lets us know he's got a soft side here. And she's
yeah, he's
already
not.
figured out what that button is to.
Yes, yeah, I think so. I think that's important. I mean, it's a tricky one, right? Like you want to still make him feel like, well, maybe not. Like you keep him structured enough that, well, because I like the idea of that little cavalcade. That's sort of like that exploration they go of like, who could it be? And if you give the game away too early, sure, I guess we know that maybe that's going to happen at some point, but
Yeah.
you want to have that mystery in there. So it's trying to find this line where he's soft enough, but he's not obviously one thing or the other. Trying to keep that mystery behind him for a little while.
So Savannah has this dilemma because she's got this dream, she's got this idea, but it conflicts with where she's working and how to navigate that. William, though, understands her and it just I would say sweeps in at the right time to, help be that catalyst with her dream. What does he get about her that maybe William's mom doesn't?
I mean, I think he he's good at his job. Again, that's why I was like, it's important to have that. I think if there's one thing he knows, he knows talent. I think that's one of his skills is he has a very good eye for ability. So I think whilst he finds her as a person fascinating, I think as soon as he reads, like even skims that first page, he immediately is like, you're not like everyone else. There is actually something about you. And I don't think it takes him long to do that. And I think it comes through the whole script and who he becomes, or you find out who he is. He loves, like, he's not maybe, I don't think his skill set is as a writer, but he loves what he does. Like, one of my favorite parts of the story is this sort of idea, this visual I have of him as he talks about like growing up in this crazy world of a publishing house in this old building, this beautiful building, and running around the halls like he's the king of his castle. And of course, he knows all the nooks and crannies and all the hidden spots. And I love that. I don't think that's completely left him. I think, of course he goes straight to his little hideout that he had when he was 9 years old or whatever, and just happens to find this, this manuscript or whatever, like like that's becomes their kind of spot. I mean, and it speaks to like these layers underneath him. But yeah, I don't know. He's a fun character. Yeah, I like that he's finding a way to be brave in his own sort of strange way throughout this.
Absolutely. You talked about, we've mentioned that she's navigating what's in her mind about this person that she's interacting with and doesn't know in that secret room. But there's also something, a spark there with William. Did you and Merritt have conversations about kind of how to navigate that to where, I mean, I'm just thinking on this side of it, I'm kind of like, oh, okay. And we know what's going on, but how did you kind
Yeah.
of talk about playing that part out?
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, like, that's one of the beautiful things is I'm really grateful to work with Merritt because she's so well read. She's so she's such great language for film and characters and stuff like that. So she's really great to work with, and I think that comes across in her performance. She's fantastic. So it makes it easy for me. Like I like to just kind of keep it nice and easy and fun, and especially it's her story. So I'm like, well, guided by her as to what she feels a character needs, and I want to just kind of respond to that as it comes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we talked about because you want to build that friction, and I think it's that one of the things I love about the story is how it does sort of run together into this fork or this sort of connection where there's this fun part how she's falling in love with these two people and she can't have them both, but it turns out, which I kind of, like it's interesting how it sort of travels, right? And so it's trying to I mean, I'm always grateful to her, especially in a story like this, because she essentially, I was like, so you got to do like all my dialogue, but because it's written on the side of the book,
Oh
so
yeah,
that's
yes,
that's kind of
yeah,
great. I mean,
yeah.
I'll be in my trailer if you need me. If you need me, like, I'm sure you got it. So I mean, hats off to her. She made me sound great. I'm sure.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
but so she did all the heavy lifting on this one. But yeah, it's trying to, especially on the in the real world side, that's a slower burn in some ways. I think they sort of like in the margins, you sort of see a kindred spirit, a person who totally gets, like that, maybe is frustrating, but they have a shared passion, a shared wisdom, a shared connection. Whereas she has all these ideas about who he must be, and he's got all these kind of hang-ups about who he should be, and the kind of person like a boss is, whilst both of them are feeling conflicted. So there's this interesting friction as they're both kind of being like no to that side of thing, whereas like very yes to this side of it, and
Yeah.
it's I don't know, it's fun how it resolves.
Looking back on filming, do you have a moment, whether we see it or even behind the scenes, that still makes you smile?
Yeah, well, I mean, Merritt had recently had a baby. I think I can tell. I can say. I'm sure she's a boy, but I love baby so much, so I was very distracted because there was this just the most adorable. I think we had a connection. I think we had a very good connection. I think
Oh, nice.
this kid's like this guy's all right,
Yeah.
and so I was like, "Can we stop filming so I can see the baby again?" She's like, "My baby, stay away from the baby." No, it was just I don't know. It was just I was like, my kids are like 3 and 6 now, and I'm like, no, little babies, just little babies. So I was very excited. But there was a ton. We didn't have a ton of time. Like everything from like how hard it is to get into Canada to see the Niagara Falls because I've never been to Buffalo before. So I was like, got to do that. So there's a lot of off-screen stuff to just like fun shots of trying to create these really fun shots and these incredible worlds and like the mystery door, and I was like, oh wow, you found a place with a secret oh, it's a closet, okay, never mind. And so like there'd be these long scenes where we'd be like, all right, action, Liam doing that thing in the secret room, and then you're like, is Merritt is she in the closet? Like, is she still in that room, like waiting there? Like, I'm like, you good? I'll be like 5 minutes, we'll come and get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like movie magic, right? So no, it was a really fun set. There was a ton of people, like all the director, from the director to the crew. Everyone was a lot of fun. So there was a million cool memories there.
And you did. I mean, I know Marisa had mentioned it and you just mentioned it. You guys did have a moment to break away. I know you filmed in Buffalo, but you were able to go to Niagara Falls. So what a cool experience.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm Australian. I haven't got to the East Coast that often. So, like, I got to learn everything about the Buffalo Bills and their many struggles. Next time, guys, you'll get there. Don't worry about it. I got to catch up with a friend of mine that I hadn't seen in so long who lives in the East Coast, and we played board games all day. It was amazing. Again, thanks to Merritt for doing most of my dialogue in the margins of the script. So I
Nice.
appreciate that. Gave me that time. I got to go to see Niagara Falls, and it was like, covered in ice, and like there was snowdrift as tall as the falls. I mean, it was crazy. I beyond just the cool filming and the great stuff we got to do there, I got to have this really awesome experience on top of that, which was awesome.
Yeah. Had you read the book at all?
I didn't get to. I like this happened like so quickly. It was kind of like, can you get a plane immediately? I was like, yes. And so all I have from the book is everything that Merritt told me, and I hear great things. But I hear it's changed quite a lot. She was explaining how the changes and the adaptations, but she seemed very happy with it.
Riley, it was really good talking with Riley Weston,
Yeah,
who did the screenplay. And those of you that are listening or watching to us, be sure to go back and check that out because it's always nice to. I think so many people, this is a best-selling book. There's a
yeah.
lot of people that love this book, and sometimes they don't quite understand that when you go from book to screen, you're talking budget, you're talking time, and a lot of things sadly have to go in order to fit into that
Make it
movie of the
possible.
week
Yeah.
world. But one thing that I did love was that Riley chose to bring back that 1 year later idea. I think sometimes,
Yeah, yeah.
we get to the end of a movie and it's like we get that gratification the last 30
So
seconds.
then
So
what
to
happens? Yeah.
have them come back and do that ending, I think was really fun for us to see.
Well, it's fun I mean, that was another of the reasons. Like everything from like how it resolves to being able to tell that kind of epilogue of sorts. Again, there was like lots of little special things about the film that sort of, for me at least, elevated it in its own little way, and that was fun. And I love getting to see how it works out. Like, yeah, you always sort of leave them wanting more, but like give them a little bit more. So I
Mhm.
like seeing like that step forward and like it's going really well, and this is the dream made real, and it's nice. So I'm glad that they kept that in and managed to find a place for it.
Well, and I think that the way that this movie is designed, with the connections that aren't so sometimes like physically where we see them, but we feel
Mm,
them more because
mm,
of the way the story's being told.
mm.
Having that moment at the end to see more of that connection, I think, is a good payoff for the audience.
I'm glad if it works out. I'm glad it works out the way that yeah. If that's what people can get, if that sort of fits well, I'm glad we managed to keep it in.
What do you think the audience is going to love most about this movie?
Oh, it's just sweet. It's like beautiful, and I again I can't speak highly enough about Merritt. I think she's fantastic. I think she does such excellent work, and it's just a fun, fresh story. I like stories about being brave and about believing. Like I feel like all of us actors, to get here, you had to do something real stupid and put your heart out in your sleeve, and be like, well, I guess I'm doing this thing. And so I really do resonate. It resonates with me stories where characters have to have that courage of their conviction to be like, this terrifies me, and yet here I am. Here's part of who I am. Here's me being vulnerable. I hope you don't tread on it. And so I like the way that resolves. I like all the side characters, machinations. It's sort of cute and it's fun in that way. So it feels like real vitality. So I think it's feels fresh and bouncy, and you feel good at the end of it in a way that I think is satisfying, which I'm really excited for.
I told Marisa I really enjoyed the whole best friend slash
Yeah.
co-worker
How good is it?
storyline in this one too. I mean, the two of them were very believable. I said, I just want to hang out with you guys. You seemed like good friends
They're
to hang
great
out
characters.
with.
This is the thing, though. What I loved about them is that, like, 'cause I got to know them quite well, offset, and there's so much of them in those characters, and it's cool. It just feels so real, which is nice.
If you were to come up with three words to describe Meet Me in the Margins, what would they be? By the way, we break
Um,
rules all the time on this podcast. So if you go over, under, it doesn't matter.
um, trust yourself. I don't know. Um, yeah, I feel it's a story about trusting yourself and being brave. So and yeah, I think that's enough in that.
And I'll add one, getting the right people in your corner, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like let good people in. That's maybe
mhm.
it. So it's there's a lot of things in this story that I'm like, yeah, that's what life should be about. Find people that will advocate for you, find people to lift you up, and be open to those people, and allow yourself to grow and to scare yourself, and yeah, I really do like stories that if you can be at home being like, damn it, I'm going to do this thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that thing I've been putting off, or I've been saying I'm not good enough for, or maybe I'm going to learn piano. Why not? What's the worst that can happen? Whatever it'll
Yeah.
be, why not?
Speaking of why not doing those things, is there a project or a role you haven't done that is on your bucket list?
I mean, I kind of got the biggest one I could imagine. As again, like a kid growing up in the '90s, there's wow. So I'm good for dream roles right now, but I have a soft spot for like like Victorian like period drama. I would be happy to be in a whether it's a Bridgerton or like a Bronte's remake of something, one of the many stories. Wuthering Heights, we just did that, so I guess I missed my window. Well done, Elodie. But yeah, like there's no, I'm like there's nothing I'm craving. I'm very high. Yeah, again, I've got beautiful kids. I've had the fortune to have some really incredible jobs. But yeah, I do like dressing up in like a three-piece suit with some sort of cravat of some kind. So we'll see if that's possible in my future.
I didn't ask that same question to Marisa, but I did kind of say in a roundabout way, and her response was she wants to do a period piece. And so
Yeah,
she's dreaming up all sorts of ideas. You guys need to get together and see what you
I'm
can
working
dream
on.
up.
I'll work on it right now. I'll get a
There you
script
go.
together.
So some people that are listening or watching this podcast may have already seen Meet Me in the Margins. Many will be
Ooh.
waiting until Saturday night. So I have a question. In the
Mm.
meantime, what's a project of yours people should go back and check out?
Well, I would say that if you're into Meet Me in the Margins, if that's your world, Then I really, really liked This Little Love of Mine. I got to do that's the first romantic comedy I sort of got to do, and it was just at the start of the pandemic, and it was like my ticket back to Australia. They were filming it on the beach, and I was like, that sounds like a wonderful idea, and it was kind of cool because it was one of those jobs where you're like, I don't know, should I even read the script? I just need to get back to Australia. Whatever, fine. I'm like, it's probably fine. I bet it's great. I'll do the best I can with it, and it was so much fun. And it's Christine Luby, who's a great director, and she's done a few of these as well. And the Jaggy Company, and they're great. And we got to do some really fun stuff. And it came out. You sort of finish a film, and I was like, that's pretty good. I didn't really know what to expect going into that because I've never done like this kind of film before. It felt good though, and then I got to watch it back, and I was like, "This is really cute. It's a
Yeah.
really fun film." So yeah, that was a really good time. Otherwise, I guess go all the way to 11 and go and watch Spartacus. But
There
it'll
you
be
go.
a surprise if you're used to some of these films. It might be a few steps further forward into.
Good, that's a good mix, though. You can go all the way
Yeah,
back
it's
and do the Spartacus thing, or hit the rom
yeah,
com.
it's not for everybody, but yeah, it's a good show.
So, what's new? What's next for you? Do you have anything that we can be looking for
Yeah,
or
I
that you
mean
can share?
we've been working for 5 years on this Wolverine thing, so that's just finishing up, and that's just like we're doing the press for that now. So that's like my like magnum opus of the last 10 years. And then I've been really lucky personally getting things like this, and I've got a few like cartoons and animated and VO show like based shows, which is so great because I get to spend more time with my kids. So
Yeah.
I've got some really cool things coming up, like Golden Axe, I think's maybe coming up, I hope, and then another thing which hasn't been announced yet. But yeah, it's been a good mix of all the things I love, from video games and cartoons to cool romantic comedies and stuff like that. So yeah, yeah, that's enough. I think I'm making a board game as well, but yeah, that's a long story. It's a Christmas board game. It's gonna be fun.
That's awesome. So, do you like, I mean, because there's such a good mix here, are you just like seeking these out, or somebody drop an idea and you're like, oh, yeah, I think I'll try that world? Or, I mean, because you got a really good mix going on here.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is, that's the word, I think, mix. I think it's a mix of those things where, you hustle 90% of your life, and then someone out of the blue goes, oh, hey, I have a thing for you. Like there's a fun short film that I did for a friend that's coming together. That's going to be a blast. I'm really happy for them. They put something special together that they worked really hard on. So yeah, no, you just like, I did one, voiceover on something, and they were like, that was good. And do this other thing. And you're like, oh, that's awesome. And like, this came in, I think, because I'd done some other romance for romantic comedies before, and it just sort of right time, right place, and again, the Wolverine thing, I was lucky enough to have, they couldn't find their guy. And then one of my friends in the industry was like, you ever heard of Liam? And they're like, oh, we haven't, we should audition him. Crazy. And so, yeah, it kind of, it's a mixture of working extremely hard to have things fall in your lap.
Absolutely. Yeah. You put
you
in the
know,
time, right? Put in
yeah,
the
I mean,
time
it's
and
like
do a good job. And then, yeah.
every job is like that at the end. I think, actors often say, like, this is so, unique to us. But I'm like, I've been a banker. It's just as hard to kind of get the right bank
Mhm.
and to get someone to be like, I'll take a chance on you and then do good work. So I think it applies to everyone more than they think.
Yeah. Well, it has been so much fun talking to you. I am so excited for everybody to see Meet Me in the Margins.
It's a good
Um,
time.
and I'm intrigued now about the Wolverine project, so I'm going to have to check it out a little bit more.
It's not for the squeamish. So just
It's
keep that in
okay.
mind.
We're always trying to broaden our horizons, right?
Yes, I would say it's on the other pole of
Okay.
Meet me the margins is
It's
here, and
the
it was all the way.
extreme. You
Yeah,
swing
so
to the
if you want to really
rom-com.
broaden your horizons, that's the place to go.
There you go. If you're watching or listening to this and you're not in love with rom-coms, we've got the other thing for you. Just
Yeah, I
swing
got the
it.
antidote for you. It's all
There you
good.
go. That's awesome. Well, I want to remind everybody, if you've got PureFlix, you can watch Meet Me in the Margins now on PureFlix. If not, make sure to tune in on Saturday night, 8, 7 Central on Great American Family to see Liam, to see Merritt Patterson, the rest of the amazing cast in Meet Me in the Margin. Liam, Somi, thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure. Hope everyone has a good time. Enjoy watching it.
All right. Bye-bye.
Cheers.